So we'll take a quick look at the quick access wheel that I showed in the previous videos, and where to find it and how to customize it. So as I showed in the other videos, you can see here from the icon on the primary controller, at the bottom button there, you just hold that down and then you just flick up. It's just like a pie menu in other 3D programs. You flick up and then you can quickly select whichever tool you have set here, depending on your customization. So the customization can be found here, the gear, and then here, set quick access wheel. And you get all these options then. So I've obviously set mine up, but when you open up Shapelab for the first time, there'll be a kind of a default setup here on these 3 tabs. So the base wheel is from the scene mode, as we talked about in the last video. Polymesh sculpting then is from sculpt mode, and then voxel sculpting obviously is the voxel tools. So from the last video as well, I need to swap that one out, because I'd recently set these up again, so I need to swap that out for increase. And that's basically how you do it. You select the one you want up here, choose the number of slots, the maximum is 12, sync all the wheels, and then you can customize all these to your preference, the shape and round corners, the look of it, visuals, blah blah blah, and the global settings. Just play with all these. Like, I just have all these at default except for number of slots, and I think I increased the size of these a bit, because I was finding when I had smaller ones I was often flicking, kind of miss flicking, so I was grabbing the wrong tool. I had to keep going back in, so I just made these slightly bigger. And I think that was that the outer, I just made this outer extents a bit bigger than the default, so that I could flick up and there'd be less chance of hitting one that I didn't want to hit, as it tapers in down here at the bottom. So yeah, you can just choose your various different options here. I didn't do anything with that one, not sure what that does. But wheel orientation, controller or world, and then the distance to the controller or the world when you open it up. So you can see here, we'll start with the base wheel. All you're basically going to do, you can just drag these off, and the base wheel stuff is up here. So I'll drag this off, I don't want that, and then you can just drag it back on. It's very, very simple. It's just drag and drop, or you can just replace it. So I can just overwrite it there with whatever one I want. And like, there's not many tools here for the base tool, so for me, like, I selected other things that I'm going to use in scene mode regularly. Like, for instance, I might want to use mirror and weld, joint selected and split meshes, parent and unparent. That can get its own small video. So you have your actions down here, and like, they've been gradually, as I mentioned before, they've been gradually adding more and more of these, exposing more of them, so that we can increase the customization here. So this is completely, obviously, subjective. You choose whatever you want to suit your own workflow. But also here you can add more wheels. So we can add another one here, a blank one that you can populate. So if I close out of this and I go into scene mode, and then I bring up the wheel and then I flick the secondary, you can see here there's even a little gear on it there, context sensitive. When I open the quick access wheel, and then I flick that across, there's the second one that I just created. Now there's obviously nothing in it, but you can cycle through it there using your thumbstick on the secondary controller. So back in here again, and I'll switch over to that second one, and I'll delete it for the moment. I don't want it there. So I do have a secondary one here, you can see, already set up. So I've the masking brushes here, and then I find it useful to put the extra masking, some features in here, and then along with I haven't, I'm keeping this as they add more in here. I don't need any more than that. I'm not just going to put them in just for the sake of it, but I'll add more in as they add more in here to suit my workflow. So that's basically it. You add them here, delete them here, and then just drag and drop from here. and then you have your three different modes, and that's basically it. Like, there's not anything else to know about that. So you can see here how fast it is once you have it set up to your liking. Then you can go in here, then voxel remesh, smooth it out, do a bit of pinching, voxel remesh again, and yeah, that's basically it. And as I said, for the masking, so I want to mask, then if I want to invert the mask, what I would usually have to do is keep the mask tool on, go in here, down here, invert the mask, then switch back to the other tool, switch back again. So that's why for me it's very handy to have like, I can be on a different brush, but then if I wanted to invert that mask, I'd have to switch over to the mask brush, then invert it, then switch back to, in this case, the clay brush. But with the wheel, I can just bring up the wheel, flick across with the thumbstick, invert the mask, and continue working while keeping the clay brush, flick up again, invert the mask, work, flick up again, clear the mask, and continue on then. So that's one example of how it can be really handy and save you from having to, especially for the mask, like, to have to keep going between the mask brush and then whatever brush you were using. So that's really it. That's all you need to know. Customize from here, set it up for your 3 different modes, and then set up extra ones if you want that you can cycle through, and then cycle through them with the thumbstick over here. And that is pretty much it for the quick access wheel.